But yeah, dude, I gotta say that in Stardew Valley, I hit escape velocity, and I'm having a little bit less fun. And of course, less fun from what I was having is an extraordinary amount of fun. I love Stardew Valley. That's amazing. I was just sort of fascinated to see that happen with myself. Where I'm sitting there hanging out, playing, having a day. You know, it's like having a day and shit. Yeah, I'm sort of fascinated because I feel like the gameplay loop of a collection game is I want to collect this thing. Or, excuse me, shit. I feel like the loop of a crafting game is I want to craft this thing. But I can't. Got him. I want to craft this thing, but I can't. I need all the items. I need all the component pieces for the recipe, so then I'm going to go out into the world, and I'm going to gather them. And the gathering of items, that's hard. That takes time, dude. And because it takes so much time, when I finally have all my pieces, yes, it's so rewarding to get the thing that I wanted. Oh, how wonderful it is to go through that struggle and then to receive the thing. In the same way that in a romantic comedy, you see them apart, how excruciating it is that they're not together, and then it gets there. You know, that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, let's hang on to this. So with, I think Stardew Valley had so much wonderful guidance to this crafting methodology. Like, I couldn't get into Minecraft, when it's obviously a great game. I couldn't get into Minecraft because of the fact that I didn't know what I was supposed to want. I had no sense of what my wants were. I was just a ship at sea wanting to figure out what to want, and I didn't know what that was, so I just sort of put Minecraft down.
Or selling.
And the glorious simplicity of Stardew Valley is that it guides you by saying, hey man, you run a farm, dude. Let's get your farm profitable. So, I mean, the idea of having money go up because I'm going to sell goods is a really, 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 really simple structure. It was fucking wonderful. So yeah, I'm running this farm, I'm running Chat Farm in Stardew Valley, and it is enough guidance and sufficient guidance to propel me to want the next thing. And that's, I think, the true fundamental brilliance of Stardew Valley, is that it creates a motivational structure for you to participate in the crafting and to participate in the collecting that's just clean and elegant and wonderful. And so the thing that I found so engaging and rewarding about Stardew Valley, first it drew me in with this very clear overarching structure, get money for the farm, which sucked me into the crafting and collecting, which got me to branch out and get into the mining and the optimizing of each day. Now I've crested over that limiting day. Like, if you saw the end of my Stardew Valley Day 2 playthrough last Friday, I hit a point where I had planted too much shit. I didn't have enough energy. What? And it was this crisis where I was like, how the hell do I get enough energy to water all the shit in my farm and also have energy to go mine in the evening? So I had to figure out that I had to eat every chicken egg that was birthed in my damn farm every morning just to have the juice I needed to water my plants.
Almost out of time.
And it was pretty satisfying. It was pretty damn satisfying to have figured out that solution, and then I just breached straight into, yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you're fine. It's too easy. Just build whatever you want. And I want more of a restriction. I want more of a challenge. And I mean, I've been telling some of my friends about this. I am absolutely fascinated by the idea of something Stardew Valley-like in a persistent world MMO context. And I think that there's a huge challenge for persistent world games. So I will make a claim, because I think that I'm going to go on a rant for a moment. Here's my rant. In game design, the start of the process is an idea that intrigues you. The start of the process is the idea that intrigues you. But the process is trying to solve problems so that you can actually hit your idea. It's a problem-solving process, right? And I say this because I am always marginally concerned slash fearful slash woeful. To the face, 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 and now I can Arcanite Reaper him next turn. I'm always concerned when I see people who want to get into game design, students, a little less so students, because professors are pretty good about being like, dude, this is what game design's like, but you know, people who want to get into it, or just generally casual observers of game design and game development, who think that the idea is the core thing. The core thing is the idea. I have an idea. What if it was a city building game, but in first person? You know, like this, and now, oh, it just blows their mind. That is a component to it. God, I can't believe this guy has taunt. Who runs taunt in their decks, am I right? But so much of the design process is trying to figure out how to solve problems. And to identify what the problem is. You're solving problems. And actually, I think that that's a subtle, but is actually the most important point of the entire damn thing. Which is that just being able to state what the problem you're trying to solve is, that's really hard. That's a hard thing. Here's an example from Atlas Development. Atlas is a free-to-play RTS that I'm working on. At one point, we said, man, battles aren't feeling as interesting. Now, that's not a problem. That's just a feeling. That's a sensation. You need to take that sensation and you need to turn it into a problem statement.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
For instance, you could state the following hypothesis. I believe that battles in Atlas are boring because there are not enough activated abilities. You now have a problem statement. Just like this guy. I have lost the game, and I have a solution for him. It's to move on to the next one. GG! Yeah, anyways, in the development process, being able to identify what you think the problem is. Like, there are not enough choices for the player in the early game. That's a problem statement. How do we make the player feel like they have more choices in the early game? A sensation would be, the early game's boring. Right? Notice how you're going from a sensation, early game's kind of boring, to problem statement. There are not enough choices for the player in the early game. And I go on this rant again to highlight what a gap in a lot of people's understanding are, where they're just like, I have an idea. What if you made a card game where you could play the front and the back of the card? And that's a cool thing, but then you have just... You have to work through what are the repercussions of this thing. How does that affect deck building if cards have two sides? What if a player only wants one side of the card and not the other side? Do you want to make both sides good? Is one an upside and a downside? Do they function on different systems? You have a lot of things that get in the way of your little core idea. See how I made that patronizing by putting in the word little? I didn't have to do that. I could have just said of your idea. But I said little to make it sound like your idea is beneath ideas in general. And that wasn't intentional. I was just sort of... I was not intentional. I was just sort of a little spitfire. I bring this up because I think that city building and crafting style games are really awesome. I am unbelievably damn interested. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, I think they're unbelievably awesome. Cities, Skylines, Stardew Valley. Even SimCity I enjoyed playing, even though I could only play it for like 8 hours, and then I literally played all the content in my confined little, you know, suffocation chamber that was the building space. I'm really fascinated by these city building, farm building, town building, structured games. And it makes me want to ask the question, what is stopping someone from playing this for 500 hours? On one city. What's stopping someone from playing for 500 hours on one city? What's stopping someone from playing one of these city building games in an MMO context where there's player-to-player interaction? And I will claim the following problem, that if this problem were solved, I think that you could get a city builder to function in an MMO context. And this is the following. How do you introduce the concept of loss and backwards progression into these games without pissing off the fuck out of the player? How do you introduce the concept of loss and reverse progression to a player in that city building context? Because I will claim that if you can do that, you have opened up a whole new world! You know, I think that that's the big key. Because in a competitive game like Hearthstone, the game I'm playing right now, this game, what permits that? What makes things like Hearthstone work in this general claim that I am making? The claim is that because Hearthstone has players creating interesting content with their cards, or creating cool strategies, or creating ideas, and they're bringing them to their opponents here on the battlefield. They're bringing those creative ideas out, that I get to experience that sort of new, fresh content. And the thing that lets me stay in this persistently is the fact that these stars are just going to go up and down and down and up and up and up and down and up and down and down and down and up and up and up and up. This creates a structure for me to work on, to where I can be stuck at rank 13 for like 5 days, and then when I break through to rank 12, I'm like, yeah! Woo! And when you're playing a lot of city building games, or even a lot of traditional MMOs for that matter, there is a claim that you only ever scale up. You get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's it. You only grow.
Victory or death!
You get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you only grow in these style of games. However, in something like a Hearthstone, you don't always grow and grow and grow and grow. You do a lot of, like, variation. And that's the thing that you work at. You spend a lot of time to go up a little bit, to grow a little bit. And I think that if there were some sort of city-building game that had the growth of your little village, and then kind of collapse back down, you try to grow it again, it collapsed back down, and it was introduced to you in a way that it felt okay. Oh, I'm so glad that was displayed. I think that this could allow you to stay engaged for an extremely long time, like 500 hours in a single-player context. And I also, too, think that this would allow for very good and healthy player-to-player interaction. Because if we're both building our little cities, and there's a way for me to go down a little bit and you to go up, and then for us to do this again, and to do this again, to do this and that again.
Don't worry, love. The cavalry's here.
Then you can allow for less out-of-control growth, which is really hard. It's really hard to just make the scaling content go up forever. And see, Scarman says, I think you just described Banished. But the problem with Banished is that, like, it's figure-outable. Like, I played a shitload of Banished, and there comes a point where you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna make this town, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And even Banished has this problem. Like, Banished, I love as a game. Banished is so good. But Banished had an arc to it. So Banished is one of these systems that it starts off as rapid growth, and then you fuck up and you die, and you go, darn, let me restart the whole game. Let me begin the whole game again. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent of a tangent of a tangent. But yeah, in Banished, had this arc of work real hard and then die and try again, and work real hard and then die and try again. And that was really rewarding. I really enjoyed that. But again, you're getting a little farther each time, and you hit a point where you just only grow, and then you become infinitely powerful, and you're what is known as a kick-ass badass. And that doesn't even happen. Even when I go start a new account on StarCraft and just start working it up, oh my god, sick. So I think it would be very interesting. Oh yeah, sorry. Even when I restart a new account in StarCraft 2, like, and I'm laddering up, I still have plenty of goodbye, plenty of losses, plenty of things that set me back, that make me strive to work up. Who runs a Death Lord? those sorts of things compel me to continue to play for a very, 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 very long time.